Hey everybody, I'm here today to tell you how I bought a house at 25 years old. In this video, I will be going over some of the strategies that I used and some of the things that I did to be able to afford a house at 25 years old. Now, before I actually start the video, I just want to go over 4 quick things. Number 1, okay, I bought this house with my wife. Now, we are equally invested in this house. That means that we both put the same amount as a down payment, so we split the down payment and we split the expenses of the house. So we are both equally invested in the house. Neither one of us is more invested in the house than the other, okay? Number 2, I live in Toronto, which is in Canada. Now you can do your own research, but the prices of houses in Toronto are pretty expensive. So it's pretty expensive to buy a house in Toronto. It's not the easiest thing to do, okay? Number 3, right now I'm filming this in my kitchen. As you can see, it's a nicely renovated kitchen, but I did not buy the house with this nicely renovated kitchen. I bought the house, as a fixer-upper. It was nice enough to live in, but it needed some work, and I renovated a few different areas and aspects of the house. Number 4, I have a mortgage on this house. It's not paid off, so I do have a mortgage that I pay on the house, and I just wanted to let you know that so you don't think that I bought a house, completely outright. Okay, so let's get right to the video. How did I buy this house at 25 years old? So my dad's a real estate agent, and ever since I was a kid, he put it in my mind that I have to save as much money as I can for a down payment on the house, and I also have to pay off my mortgage as quickly as I can when I actually buy a house. He said that because he was able to understand the finances of purchasing a home and how much of a difference it can make if you put a large down payment down on a house and you pay off your mortgage relatively quickly. So he opened my eyes to the possibility of living a financially free life, living a financially open lifestyle, okay? And he said that if you put a good amount down on your house and you pay off your mortgage as quickly as you can, you'll probably live a better life or have a better lifestyle financially than if you take a long time to pay off your mortgage and you put down a very small down payment on your house. So I had that in my mind. And basically, I started working in like grade 7, okay? I worked at a hardware store. I was basically just sweeping the floors, mopping the floors, picking up garbage, cleaning the washrooms, stuff like that, okay? Just doing some small stuff. And then I later progressed to that was just on the weekends. Then I got a part-time job at a grocery store, and I started off just by working, like a Saturday and then 2 weeknights, stuff like that. But then as I saw the potential for earning money, I asked if I could get more hours. And this is pretty much all throughout high school and sort of the beginning of my, my college days, okay? So basically I always asked for more hours, and I worked my hardest to show them that I was, let's say if I was making the same wage as someone else, that it was more beneficial to put me on the schedule because they were paying us the same, but I was providing them with more work that was being done, so it's better off putting me on the schedule. So I sort of showed that I had a great work ethic, and they gave me a ton of hours. Literally, they allowed me to work almost as much as I wanted to, okay? I was working a lot of hours, lots of hours. Basically, every weekend I was doing 10 to 12 hours each day on the weekend, and then pretty much at least 4 nights of the week, I was doing 4 to 6 hours after school, okay? So I worked a lot of hours, but I was able to save a lot of money for being such a young kid. So my friends were treating their part-time jobs just like part-time jobs, working a Saturday and then Tuesday night, let's say. But I was treating a part-time job as a job that had a ton of potential because I didn't have set hours, so I could pretty much try and get as many hours as I could. So I saw my checks getting bigger. I saw more money coming in, and I was banking that money. I was putting it in the bank in hopes of one day being able to afford a house just like this. So I kept banking it, and eventually I saved up a good amount of money, and I realized, well, if I can have one job, why can't I have a second job? So I found an additional job as a security guard for condominiums. So I was a condo security guard. And the good thing about this was I was actually able to work these hours as a condo security guard on top of my grocery store hours, okay? Because I was working Saturday nights. So I was doing like literally on the weekend, I was working Saturday all throughout the day, Saturday overnight, and then Sunday all throughout the day into the evening. I was working like an animal, okay? But I knew that one day it would pay off. And you know what? I had a whole bunch of other smaller jobs as like extra jobs in addition to the grocery store. But the grocery store was the main job that that pretty much allowed me to bank a whole bunch of money for, you know, being the young age that I was. Then that was my job throughout high school, most of college, and just a little bit of university, and I had a few other jobs for short periods of time. However, extra jobs in addition to the grocery store. However, I eventually finished my schooling, and I went to teachers college, and I became a full-time teacher. So, well, I didn't become a full-time teacher right away. I got hired by the school board, by my local school board, and I had to supply teach, and then I had a long-term assignment in which I covered someone's maternity leave for a full year, and eventually I had a full-time job. So I was also saving that money. In addition to that, I was forming online businesses pretty much ever since I was like 20, and I spent the first 2 years, pretty much 2 years, 2.5 years, learning the craft. I did a whole lot of work. I did a lot of work for my online businesses. I was building websites and so forth. And to be honest with you, they didn't really earn me that much money. It was very, very minuscule, but I learned a lot about how to do other things online that would make me a serious amount of money eventually. So basically, I had all of these jobs. If something could earn me income, I was pretty much going to try it out. It was worth a shot. And eventually, you know what? I was able to bank enough money to secure a down payment for this home along with my wife, for this house along with my wife. And also, I had enough of a consistent income to be able to afford the mortgage payments on the house, all of the utility bills on the house. Well, half of it, just as I said, because my wife and I, we equally split the expenses on the house. So half of the mortgage payments and half of the expenses and so forth. And also I had enough money as sort of a contingency just in case something were to happen on the house, like the roof went or something like that. So I basically kept just grinding it out. And the thing is this simple, okay? I always saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I always saw the glass as being half full. And I always outworked everyone that I knew, okay? And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, when my friends were partying, and I did party a little bit, and I had fun, I hung out with my friends and so forth. But when my friends were doing all of that stuff, I was working more than they were, okay? I still managed to have fun, but I was working more than all of my friends were, okay? I always had a positive spin on things. I worked super hard, okay? I banked my money. Of course, everyone spends some money, in not so good ways, and we've all made mistakes with regards to spending money on stuff that we regret, but you know what? I made up for it. If I spent money on something that didn't really make sense, and I lost money, which I've done before, I made up for it, okay? I literally would work extra hard to make that money back. And that's basically how I did it. I just kept seeing the long game. Many people get these jobs, they start these businesses, and they always see the short game. Oh, I did this, that, and I only got this. Well, you've only been in it for 2 months. You've only been trying for a year. Okay, literally, I was saving pretty much from when I was young, like very young until I was 25. And that was my goal in my mind for over 10 years. Just save money for a house. Put a good down payment on a house, pay off your mortgage relatively quickly. That was my goal. And that wasn't a 1-year goal. That was like a 10+ year goal. So you have to understand, if you want to do amazing things in life, you have to put in an amazing amount of work. If you want to be better than everyone else, if you want to end up being more successful, I don't want to say better because we're not better than each other, but if you want to be more successful than anyone else from an unbiased standpoint, then you have to work harder than everyone else. You have to have better work habits. You have to have better spending habits. You have to have a better mentality than everyone else. So it's literally that simple. I don't want to make this video super long. I don't know how long I've been talking for. It's already longer than I had planned on, but you know what? I wanted to give you sort of a very, very deep perspective of how I was able to afford my first house at 25 years old, okay? So it's literally that simple. If you want to be able to do something profound in life, you have to have a profound work ethic. You have to have a profound mentality. You have to have a profound personality. A few pieces of advice, if I could just sort of sum it up: always see the glass as being half full. Always see the light at the end of the tunnel. Play the long game as well as the short game. You need to play them both, and always work harder than anybody else that you know. Literally that simple. And that's basically it. In this video, I told you how I was able to buy a house at 25 years old. I sort of gave you a deeper perspective into my personal life and my home. Just gave you a quick little kitchen tour. Those are my cookies right there. Well, my wife made the cookies. I'm gonna definitely eat, I'm gonna say most of them because I love cookies. So I gave you a little bit of a deeper perspective into my personal life. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, then just let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to know how I have managed to achieve certain things, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to make some videos about those topics. And that's basically it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.